Welcome back. Are you good in cooking food? How delicious are the taste of your food? If you have the full confidence in cooking, the world is actual. And food supply is one of the best-selling businesses in the Nigeria sector that have made billions of naira for people. Following are the secrets that would lead you to a successful career in the food supply business in Nigeria. Now, one of the many that has cashed out in food business in Nigeria is Tobi Fletcher, CEO of Ofada Boy, and he's here with me in the studio. It's good to have you with us,
Thank you for
Tobi.
having me.
Now, before we start, we have to take a look at the agricultural sector, which is where you get majority of your food from. So, in terms of food security, are we where we need to be in this country?
Basically, I think we've not gotten there.
Okay.
We're still very, very far away from being self-sustainable.
Yeah.
I think a lot of things have been shown with the border closure. So, but we're getting there. I've done a lot for with the Ministry of Agriculture in Lagos State and Ogun State, and I can see a lot of things have been done to cover those lapses.
Okay, tell us more about this food supply business in Nigeria. You know, how is it been propagated in terms of the prospects and narratives there? What do you make of it?
It's a huge market. It's a big market that we've not tapped into. Maybe we're on like 2 or 3%.
That is low.
Yeah,
That's
because we've been so dependent on neighboring countries and other countries for our supply. And, you know, basically, I think with the border closure, as I said earlier, a lot still needs to be done in that regard. And, you know, directly or indirectly, every other person too has a role to play in it.
So in terms of valuation of your type of business, how would you describe the prospect, you know, within the Nigerian environment, economic environment, as it were?
Okay, you know, basically, I deal with local content.
Okay.
I deal with Ofada rice.
Which is good.
Yam,
In fact, with the border closure, we should be seeing more of that.
Yeah, that's the idea. And, you know, that's why this makes a whole lot of sense, because we're becoming strangers to our culture. We depend a lot on other things. We want to use this type of spice, that type of spice. And where they're even coming from, they don't use those type of spice because there are a lot of preservatives in them. So with what I do, I've been able to change the narrative in some regards. For example, Ofada rice, a lot of people, before I started, felt Ofada rice was a rice.
Yeah, it's too local
and all that, you know. But I tried to contemporize it, or I tried to make it presentable. I polished it. I had different talks with farmers and middlemen, and you know, it's a different ballgame right now.
In terms of you trying to change the narratives regarding Ofada rice, what has been the public response been to that? You know, they're your consumers, you know. So how's the response been?
When I started, I know for events, for example, a lot of people used to put Ofada rice as one of the menus other caterers will prepare. But now I've been able to isolate that. You want to call a caterer, you call a caterer. You want to bring in an Ofada rice caterer, you bring in that separately. Because a lot of foreign foods that we've learned how to cook, we use recipe books for them. And most of our meals, you can't use recipe books for them because a lot of the production are not done in Nigeria. So you just need to understand and learn, grow doing all those things. And that's what I've done different things. For example, I've done the Ofada Rice Festival. I did that along with the World Food Day this year, October 13th. And it had well over 3,000 food enthusiasts at the Muri Okmala Park. I did that with the Lagos State government, Ministry of Agriculture, and it was massive. And that shows that there's still that hope and that space for our meal.
Very good, and that's exactly where I'm coming from. Yes, a lot of people have said so many things about the border closure when it comes to food and all that, but are we seeing a gradual, because not too long ago I was watching a documentary about even poultry farmers. They were like smiling and singing to the bank that, look, there's more patronage, you know, with regards to all of that. So are we going to see like a gradual shift, apart from your efforts in trying to, you know, contemporize your brand of rice, a gradual shift of Nigerians' taste, you know, from, you know, the foreign imports we usually get and to the local content, as it were?
Exactly. It's not even gradual. There's going to be a massive shift. Because a lot of things that we've been used to are just there, like the chicken, for example. They're just ready to be fed.
Yes.
You understand? They just pump them up, and you just feel your tummy. All we do is feel our tummy. And honestly, because most of our food,
the nutritional value
is not it.
Yeah.
And the way they even preserve it, a lot like rice, for example. Rice uses a minimum of 3 to 4 years before it even gets to us.
Wow.
You understand? The first harvest, the rack, then the ship. They first take it to a country. The country resacks. They then bring it to Nigeria. Those things are going off.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And in terms of in terms of taste, in terms of value, we've been so polluted that if we travel, for example, to Mexico or to some other countries, they would never bend their culture to welcome you. They want you to feed on their food. They want you to understand, because the food is a part of the culture.
Yeah, it is.
Takes a very important role.
Yeah,
do you understand? But we don't mind bringing in, trying to welcome a Mexican in the Mexican way, preparing the Mexican food, and we're eventually losing.
Tobi, I have to mention this here, because you find scenarios whereby some of the usual excuse, especially when it comes to local rice, is that, okay, fine, the technology being used in harvesting this rice before it gets to the final consumers, in terms of, some of the rice have stones in them, and if the ones coming in could easily sift it, and issues like that. So why is that? So what can we do to change that narrative?
It still boils down to the level of production and the level of production. I know Lagos State has done a lot in that regard. I know they just opened a big farm in Imota for Ofada rice, and those things have been put in place. It's a gradual thing, but we will get there.
It's a gradual thing, and we will end here. Tobi Fletcher of Ofada Boy, I'd like to thank you very much for your thoughts on this issue. It's good to have you.